Hello, welcome to my channel. Today, I'm hoping to finish up the whole profile of my stop collar. This. I roughed everything out last week. That was a mess, a lot of cranking. But I mentioned having a 5-flute solid carbide finishing end mill, 1/2-inch diameter, and I found that. I found 2 of them. So I was going to finish the profile, but first I was going to hop into the ID and finish that. This is 1/752 is what I measured it. It's hard to measure with this split. I don't know if it's moving in or out, but the quill itself is 1,000 under. It's 1 inch 749 instead of 750. I forgot to tell you how I was going to measure it. I ran across this old tool I had. It's not an old tool, but it's a 1 to 2 inch inside mic. I've never really cared for them as a direct readout. That's what this is supposed to be. But I've always had a problem with it within a couple of thousands. I prefer to measure over it, to use this, measure over it with a 2-inch mic. I feel better. But if we're going to measure over it, I've always liked using my old veneer calipers. But as you use them, these tips wear out. And I bought this when I was an apprentice. It was one of my first tools. But I was taught to measure over. You get a feel for it, how it's in that ID. Lock it, and then measure over it. I also believe I have a telescoping gauge. I'll have to see. But I am ready to hop in the mill and get that going. Let's get over there. Everything is locked on 0. My Y, my X, my rotary table. What I'm going to do is just lower the cutter and just work off of my Y to get the proper diameter. With a 1/2-inch cutter, I just need to move off center about 625 thousandths. We'll find out if that's true or how close all this is. Okay, let's do this. That's 600 thousandths and it just touched. I found my telescoping gauge. Let's see what this thing measures. I don't believe what I just read. With this being at 600, that should be 1/700. And I read this is about 6 thousandths under that. It's the same thing. I'm going to raise this up and move it out because I want a good measurement to start with. I like to snug this down, the one back jaw. I, for some reason, think I have a good feel with that. It is 9 thousandths under. I just realized what it is. I am moving counterclockwise. I always set my zeros clockwise, and I'm moving backwards to get over. So that's the amount of backlash I have, 9 thousandths in this old thing. I knew there had to be a reason. 729. There's 20 more to go. It's right on 625, so I'm going to move it over so I can measure it. You think it's there, or you think I screwed it up, or it's undersized? 3 possibilities. It's about 1 2/10 over nominal. It's 1/751 and a couple of tenths. That's pretty good. What I'm going to do now is move over to the front of this and go from hole to hole. Let's do this. I checked my backlash before I started, and there was about 7 thousandths on this axis. So that's what I'm going to move. 7 thousandths, and that should blend with that corner, and it should bring this to the right size. Let's try it. Straighten this out and just go along the straight parts. I need to lock this rotary table. All right, let's get it over to the other side. I went completely by feel and eyesight. I did not go by any measurement to get into that corner. So, most likely these could be undersized, the fingers that come out, or oversized, but it doesn't matter. I'm not going to sweat over stuff like that. I need to bring the rotary table all the way around. I think that's it. The whole profile is finished. I think I can take it out. Do some measuring at the bench. Let's do that. This was supposed to be 875. You give it plus or minus 15 thousandths. Let's see what it turned out to. 870. I'm 5 thousandths under. I kind of just, I didn't really go to any numbers because the backlash was the wrong way. Didn't deburr it very good. It's 877. So I'm 2 thousandths over on this. This, I don't like measuring it like that. It's 1 inch 752. It was supposed to be 1 inch 750. I know, let's check it on the quill. That's just the way the other one does. It stops right there. Okay. That's good. That's 3 thousandths bigger than the quill. But I'm going to put a slot in there. Let's see, what is this slot? It's 80 thousandths. I don't know if I have an 80 thousandths slitting saw. Let's see. This here part should be, this part should be 1 inch 300 thousandths, and it is 1 inch 301 and 5/10. It looks good. I need to clean up that mill and set it up to slice it through. But before I do that, I need to drill the hole for the bolt. So I don't like drilling through 2 halves. You have to put something in there so it doesn't collapse. And you know, one of the things I wanted to do to this is put a radius on it. This is on both ends. This is 7/8, 875. That would be a 7/16 radius. I have this set of radius gauges, a Starrett radius gauges. I had them since I was probably 17 or 18. I'm not even sure. I think I got them from my father. I'm not sure. Maybe I just snuck them out of his box and never put them back. Here's the whole set. I very seldom used them. I worked in a spring and wire company for a while, making tooling for 4-slide wire forming machines. And most of the tolerances for the wire forms were wide open. And that's what I use these for, to check radiuses on the wire forms. And that was when I was real young, 22, 23, and 50 years ago. But I was just going to put some Driken on here, layout fluid, and just scribe this on there and go over to the belt sander. Make it just a quick one. Nothing fancy. I don't know if you could see that. That's good enough. Okay, I'm going to go over to the belt sander and just knock those corners off. That don't look too bad. Let's see, how does this go? That's the front of the machine that would go. That's the front of the machine that you're on. Here we go like that. And then in this hole, that's where there's going to be a rod that goes down the other way, all the way down to goes like that. This goes like this. I need to drill a hole in this arm, and there'll be a rod that holds it. That's going to be pretty cool. Okay, let's get over to the mill and drill the hole and put that slot in there. Let's do that. I've already centered it where I want it to go. I edge found the back here and the front and brought it to where it needs to be. I squared it up just using the square, which is more than it has to be. I could have done it by eyeball probably and still got away with it. But I used the square, and I have my tall jaws in here to clamp it, and then whenever I use these things, I always put a clamp on here just to make sure this top jaw is clamping. I was just going to center drill a 1/4 inch. I always use stubby drills, at least to start with. So I'm going to just put a little spot on here using the center drill, and then go with the stubby 1/4 inch drill, and I'll probably end up putting a longer drill in there to get it all the way through. And then what I want to do is slice this thing using a slitter slicing. Let me show you. It says it's high-speed steel. I measured the slot, and the other one was 80 thousandths. This is a 93 thousandths saw. And I was just going to plunge straight in after I found out where it needs to be. Roughly in the middle. Let's do this. I know I always tell people, use a spotting drill, not a center drill. Well, you could use a center drill, but just put a spot in it. I've seen people go in 1/8 of an inch, a 1/4 inch deep. That's for putting a center in for your lathe. But I just put a little spot there. And I'm going to start with a stub drill. All right. I'm going to change out that drill. I just don't like this chuck that close to here. I mean, it should clear everything, but I have a longer drill. Why not use it? It didn't go too bad. Now I need to set it up to slit that. Okay, from putting those drills in there, I had this head way too high. So I just brought it down and touched off. Now I have to bring it down to the middle. That should be the middle within about 5 thousandths. I'm just gonna plunge straight in. I'm at the center of the part. I've got it running about 900 RPMs. I'm just gonna plunge straight in and then clear it after I've broke into the large diameter. Let's do that. Let's make sure this is tight. That went a lot easier than I thought. Let's get this out of here, get over to the table, and look at this thing. Make sure that screw goes through there. I love when everything goes right. Well, I'm speaking too soon. I don't know if this goes. That goes through. Let's see. If this is... That goes this way. Oh, I got the thing in backwards. Okay. Let's see if this thing goes on here still. Ooh. It does. Tighten it by hand. Yes. Okay. I still have a hole to drill through here, but I have to figure out where it goes. I know I had made this hole and the length of this finger, arm, whatever you want to call it, just enough so I can get my hand in here for adjusting the tension. But this looks pretty good. This worked. There. I love it. Okay. So that was our experience with our rotary table and the slitting saw, but everything went okay. I accomplished what I wanted to in this video, so I guess I'm going to have to say, until next time, enjoy.